What's up, Pocket Nation? This is Scotty Pockets, and we are here for a new segment on on the vlogging channel, and we are calling it the Top 5. Right now, I'm just doing Pokemon stuff. Then, when you guys want to suggest stuff, I'll do Top 5s of that too. Alright, so we're going to start off with the top 5 of the Gen 1 Pokemon of my favorite. Alright, so first we're going to do honorable mentions. Coming in as honorable mentions, I have 3, and that's how we're going to do it. With honorable mentions, I'm going to have 3 of honorable mentions, and so here they are. As you haven't noticed on the collage that I did, we have Fearow, Nidoking, and Dugtrio. Reason being, reason why they didn't make it on the top list was because of the fact that they just didn't have that power that I wanted to keep in my team. All the other 5 are ones that just about every Gen 1 game, or even Kanto region games, I always try to have at least 2 or 3 of them in my party, because I do like a little bit of variety. But the top 5 are usually the ones that I definitely use probably 90% of the time. But Fearow, obviously, because it's the first, when you right up the gate, is the first Pokemon actually learns a flying move, so it helps out when you go into the Viridian Forest and all the other places that need fighting moves or flying moves against it. Nidoking, obviously, because it's a powerhouse throughout the whole game. You can do it a physical set, specialist set. I don't really think of it more of a status set, but I would definitely call it a powerhouse for sure. And then Dugtrio, mainly, honestly, with him, it's just to take out freaking Lieutenant Surge, really, honestly. And then later on, if there's anybody else that needs to be wiped out by ground moves, that's pretty much my staple. Alright, so coming at number 5, we have Sandslash. Mainly for the Gen 1s, he's usually just in blue version. You can find him a lot in yellow version. Maybe not so much blue version, but yellow version, because yellow version was pretty much my first Gen 1 game that I played, that I actually owned myself. I played other ones before, but I owned yellow. My first game I ever owned of Pokemon was yellow. Sandshrew, he learns dig at, or you teach him that dig, and I mean he wrecks house just about the rest of the game. He's a very powerful and fast Pokemon, so he helped out a lot with Lieutenant Surge. I wrecked house once I taught him dig and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't know, I just like the little bastard. So my number 4th pick is Raichu. Obviously, I really do like Pikachu. And I mean, yellow version, I never tried to evolve him into Raichu. I kept him as a Pikachu. But in like red and blue, or fire red and leaf green, Raichu. Just because it's just strong. It's just stronger, honestly. Without the light ball, it's really the strongest. Light ball obviously changes the game a little slightly, but Raichu is more of a physical attacker too. Can learn Brick Break, can learn other moves. Can't really think of right now. But as far as I'm concerned, Raichu is definitely better than Pikachu in the games. Maybe not the TV show, but in the games, Raichu is definitely better. Coming in at number 3 is Jolteon. Main reason why I say Jolteon over Raichu is because I was more inclined to save Thunderbolt and teach it to Jolteon and just literally wreck house. I mean, it also learns Pin Missile. Later on in the game, like later down the road in like Fire Red and Leaf Green, he can learn so many more moves like Shockwave and all that. I just think he's faster than Raichu. In Gen 1, I believe he is one of the fastest Pokemon, if not the fastest Pokemon in Gen 1. So definitely I had to put Jolteon up there because honestly, if I had to put two and two together, I couldn't choose over Jolteon or Raichu. But generally speaking, Jolteon is probably the better of the two. Coming in at number 2, we have Blastoise. Honestly, it could have went both ways. Either way, it could have been number 1 easily, but I chose it as number 2, mainly because he's the intermediate. He's not the beginner. He's not the expert. He's the intermediate. And honestly, I really like his design, especially when we come, especially a Blastoise. I mean, a turtle with 2 cannons. I mean, you can't really hate on that, especially design wise. Another way at least I found is you could teach Blastoise Ice Beam. Once you get Celadon City, you can teach him Ice Beam, and pretty much once he learns Surf, Ice Beam. Sometimes if you really want to, if you want to risk it, Hydro Pump, and usually I just teach him. I don't remember what I taught him in my 4th move. But anyways, but other than that, I mean, he could wreck house pretty much. Once you get to Cinnabar, once you get to Blaine and Giovanni, you can wreck them with him. And then when you go to the Elite Four, I mean, pretty much Ice owns. I mean, let's just be honest here. Just about almost every generation, at some point, Ice types definitely own everything. Especially since Dragon up until Gen 6 was a really, really, really strong type. But Ice was that type that, I can beat you other than your own type. So, Blastoise definitely could learn it, and in my opinion, he was the best to learn it in the game. I would say another Pokemon that could have been honorable mention, that could have been at least the same tier as Blastoise, would be Vaporeon. But Vaporeon's not on either of the lists, so it does not count. Coming in at number 1, you guys, if you haven't already seen the picture, and you're probably as surprised as I was when I was making this list, Charizard is not number 1. It is actually Venusaur. Reason being, Venusaur, at least when it comes to the meta game of Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire, Red, and Leaf Green, honestly, Venusaur is probably the best choice, regardless of what anybody else says. In my opinion, Venusaur is the best out of Gen 1, mainly because of the fact that, I mean, he's very versatile. You can make him a physical attacker, but that's more 6th gen. But 6th gen, you could make him a physical attacker. Maybe not so much in 1st gen, but you can make him a special attacker, or you can make him a stall artist. You can make him, and then you can always just make him a status monger, as I used to do with Leech Seed and Toxic, and then have Cut, because I always taught Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, Cut, just because it was easy. And then Razor Leaf or Mega Drain, whichever one I felt like doing at that time. So yeah, that's my top 5 Gen 1 Pokemon. And this is another disclaimer. This is opinionated. If you don't like my my list, definitely put down in the comment section what your top 5 is. You don't have to put an honorable mention, but put your top 5 down there. Let me know what you think, and definitely check out all my stuff with other things that I do as far as streaming, YouTube, and all that. Those are in the those in the description section. So with that said, hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys later.